Welcome everyone to Let's Talk Beautification. I think we've been talking about this for a while. When we talk about beautification, when we talk about what types of beautification we want to see in Clayton County, I know that folks in the room have a lot of opinions, and that's why I wanted to have this meeting, so that I can hear from all of you. So we've already done introductions and housekeeping. Next we'll do the interactive audience activity. I already mentioned that we have the Children's Corner in the back left. We'll do a very brief overview of Clayton County. We'll talk about what beautification is. We'll do some District 1 announcements, and then we have some guest presenters. Some have tables, and some will be doing a presentation from the front. So, as y'all know, the Let's Talk series has been going on since August of 2024 around the millage rate, in 2025 around the budget, and the work, and no one worry, there will absolutely be a Let's Talk budget. I know that some folks have already been tuning in to the budget hearings that have been taking place today, that will continue on the 27th and the 28th. Those are available online. And that is because of a resolution that was introduced last year to make the budget process more transparent. There's also been two versions of Let's Talk Zoning, and I have a feeling that there will likely be a 2.0 version of beautification. And so for Earth Day this month, we had a knit and chat, which was housed at Reynolds Nature Preserve, and I think we actually have Reynolds Nature Preserve, okay. Well, we invited Reynolds Nature Preserve, but if you have not been, I highly recommend everyone, please check out Reynolds Nature Preserve. It is a gem in Lake City, and it is under the Parks and Recreation Management. And we're here tonight at Let's Talk Beautification. So here are some of the answers that folks gave as far as what other topics they want to see the District 1 office do in 2026 around Let's Talk. And so some of these are going to be discussed tonight. Beautification changes to Terra Boulevard and Ellenwood, as well as road construction on Mount Zion. I think we answered that question at the town hall. All right, so I want to give everyone a minute to pull out your phones, your tablets, and just take a photo of the QR code on the screen, or go to the website, mentimeter.com, and then type in the code at the bottom, 86065740. And we'll give folks a few minutes to grab that QR code, and to also go to the Mentimeter website.
Commissioner Reaves, I don't use my phone for stuff like that. And I just raise my hand like a break that way.
And we have someone in the back who's taking notes. And so, Ms. Fernandez? Yes. Ms. Fernandez was just saying that for folks who don't want to use their phone or their tablets, you'll have the opportunity to just yell out what you want to see as far as topics. I want to give folks a few more minutes. I know we had some folks who just joined us. And then Len, you can pull up the Mentimeter. Awesome. So I know some folks in here have already answered this question, but I see a lot of new faces, which I always love to see. And so I want to hear your answers as well. You probably can see that we have a couple Mentimeter questions that we'll be answering tonight. So for those who have already just logged in, you don't have to create an account, you just go to the Mentimeter website and just type in what topics do you want to see for the Let's Talk series. And then Mr. Mickey and Ms. Fernandez, if you all have anything that y'all want to shout out, we'll make sure that we have it jotted down and we'll add to this list.
What are like the range of topics that we can share?
Any topic. I know there's so many options, right? What do you want to see? What do you want to have a discussion about? What questions do you have that me as your county commissioner can answer? And also invite the experts to come out and answer your questions too. All right, I know we're not talkative yet. Don't worry, we'll be a very talkative group by the end.
What was the code?
Lynn, it doesn't show the code up there. There it is. All right, so it's 8606 5740. 8606 5740.
Thank you.
Oh. We have to stand back because of the glare.
You can zoom into it.
Yeah.
It'll pop up if you zoom in on your phone.
You can also make this a group activity, so if the person next to you has their phone open, feel free to chime in. This is all anonymized, by the way, so we can't see who typed in what. Maybe I should have said that from the beginning. I feel like I'm gonna get some interesting responses. All right, can we pull the slide back up? No one yet?
Sorry, what was the question?
What topics do you want to see discussed in 2026?
How about tonight?
We're going to talk about beautification.
Okay, let's hear it.
Also,
We will.
not what we're going to discuss tonight, but what we'll discuss in the future.
Yes.
You know, my phone is not, for some reason it's not working. Can I ask something?
Absolutely. You can yell it out.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking about water coming from the airport. Are we having an extension coming from the airport to Clayton?
Yeah, so someone at the town hall actually said that we should have a Let's Talk MARTA where we can invite MARTA to come down and answer questions. MARTA also does community meetings and we'll make sure that folks get the information about that. But yeah, the bus rapid transit, the BRT, will be connecting from the airport and it'll be going down Jonesboro Road, but we can have a whole meeting to discuss that. Yeah. Anybody else? It's me, Anna.
I'd like to talk about the Board of Elections.
Okay.
Like, what exactly do they do? Where are they? You see all these people like running for stuff now, but like when do they have these town halls or we need to go meet the candidates? I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more, you know, people should know more. Where is it? When is it?
Sure. So the Board of Elections, they meet on the second or third Tuesday of the month, and those meetings are at the bunker over on South Government Circle. So those meetings are open to the public. I don't believe that they are recorded or live streamed. You have to go in person. But yeah, we can have someone from elections come out. All right. Well, let's go back to the slides. Yes, ma'am.
I am concerned about zoning. I'd like to see a little bit more information about what's happening with zoning more often. And like blast it to the communities, because I think what's happening is things are being done and the community's kind of so busy trying to keep up with their own lives and what's going on that they aren't aware of these things that are being, these decisions that are being made. Because like we said before, no more gas stations on every corner and no more townhomes. And we have this townhome up here that the property was bought from the church a couple of years ago.
The one in Lake Urban and 42.
It's Ridgeway Heights on Rex Road.
On Rex Road.
Yep.
Across from Wagner Place.
If you
near
go
Now
east from here, excuse me, west from here, it's on the left. And that property, I called code enforcement because it had been burned and they took care of that. But then there was just trash. You could see it from the street just billowing back on the fellowship. And so whoever owns that property needs to do something, like cut the grass. I mean, it looked nice, even when the church wasn't really active. They kept it nice and cut and clean. So, but that's a townhome. What I'm getting ready to say is that was zoned for townhomes. They got, I'm sure, taxes.
So I don't want us to go too deep into any specifics. This is just what general topics.
Yeah.
So we've had two meetings on
Not
zoning
only
and
townhomes.
we've had 2 meetings on zoning that I have hosted, and those slides and the recordings are available if you get our newsletter. The recordings and the slides are both available in the newsletter. And then as far as trash and litter, we have Captain Gooden here from Reaves, and then we also have she can also speak a little bit to code enforcement and the commercial code enforcement, which would handle that. And Mr. Mickey, I think I saw your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that the Board of Commissioners have voted in the project, Keep Clayton Beautiful, through the national program, Keep America Beautiful. When is this going to get off the ground and become part of Clayton County?
Mr. Mickey, that's already a part of my presentation. We're going to be talking about that tonight.
That's really.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir. We're talking about beautification. All right, any other topics, Mr. Eliyahu?
Yeah, but would love to just hear what the initiatives are set up for, any fresh food initiatives, any food insecurity initiatives, anything that supports local organizations that are in agriculture, if there are any urban ag initiatives, anything like that.
I
Yeah,
ditto
very good.
that.
Consulting right
I
now.
ditto that, because I was hoping that property would become an agricultural education center for Clayton County Public Schools, right on the line of that.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to steal from the Atlanta Harvest presentation, but Atlanta Harvest, which is what, 3rd generation Black-owned farmers market here in Clayton County off Anvil Block in Ellenwood. Has a partnership with Clayton County Public Schools where you bring the students out to learn about agriculture, and that's already taking place here in Clayton County.
Good, but I
And
want
they're here
more of
too.
that, and community gardens and
We're going to talk about all that.
stuff like that.
All right, small business, agriculture, education. We can have maybe a presentation with community development so that they can come out and talk about the small business incubator and other entrepreneur initiatives that they have. All right, well, I had an interactive map, but no one filled out the first one, so we can move on to the next slide. So for the folks who attended the town hall, I know you all have heard this, but when we talk about beautification, I also want to talk about the growth of Clayton County and making sure that we're planning appropriately for that growth. So Clayton County is estimated to get to a population of 400,000 in the next 25 years. Don't raise your hand if you have heard this at another one of my town halls, but what is the population of Clayton County? Just rough estimate.
Ready to ask.
All right, what do you think it is?
299,000.
All right, we got 299.
It's the growth from ARC.
What, Ms. Sherry, what was that? 365, okay. You think we're already at 2050? Okay. Ms. Nancy. 3? I'm not repeating that number. Who else, what you got? 280, man.
About 205.
205,000?
Yeah.
That's how many people we have registered to vote. But no, we are well over 200,000. I don't have any prices for you, Nancy, but you've already seen this presentation. It's 306,000. That's what we're at, 306,000.
That's what I'm saying, because that's not a really rapid growth rate when you think about 25 years.
It is given how little land there is.
And
Yeah.
Exactly, that's why there's too many towns, and the roads.
We had a whole zoning discussion when we talked about housing. So I wanted to show this map for folks who haven't seen it, and it just talks about where the Atlanta Regional Commission has estimated that we'll receive that population growth. So you see this here in Riverdale, you see the Rex Ellenwood area, and so when we talk about that population increase, making sure that we talk about the sustainability. We have folks here who are going to talk about conservation efforts and making sure that the natural, beautiful natural spaces that we have here in Clayton County, whether it's Reynolds Nature Preserve, whether it's the Newman Wetlands, that we're making sure that we're building sustainably in Clayton County. This is now outdated. All right, so what is beautification? And what does beautification mean? And I know that folks have come up to public comment and they talked about what they want to, well, they talk about the state of Clayton County now. They may talk about some of the illegal dumping that we've seen on the side of the road, some of the bulk trash that's left in certain areas. We just heard about the litter that can be seen on the side of the road, and we have a phenomenal refuse control department under corrections. I do see our interim warden Amy in the back, who has been, they have been working very hard to keep the litter picked up and cleaned up around Clayton County, as well as our code enforcement who works to make sure that any violations or dilapidated buildings, that they are forwarded appropriately. But when I talk about beautification, I want to talk about what is the next step to making sure that Clayton County looks beautiful. So yes, picking up the litter, encouraging individuals not to dump illegally. So the county has amnesty days. There was one here at Rodenizer at Rex Park just this weekend, and there will be some other bulk amnesty days that the county is putting together for May. But when I talk about beautification, I want us to talk about what does green space look like in the county? What does it look like to have wildflower gardens and pollinator gardens? What does it look like to have, yes, building and maintenance isn't in here, but I have long talked about whether or not we can have rooftop gardens or have like apiaries, like butterfly gardens. You see that in other cities like Chicago and New York, where they'll use the open space on a roof and they'll put greenery there. And so not only does it add a little bit of beautification, but it also helps to maintain the temperature within the building. So you're not running the AC as much, you're not running the heat as much. And so when I say beautification, I want us to think big. And I really enjoyed, this is a quote from First Lady Bird Johnson that was on the National Park Service website. And it says, through the word beautification makes the concept sound merely cosmetic. It involves so much more. Clean water, clean air, clean roadsides, safe waste disposal, and preservation of valued old landmarks, as well as great parks and wilderness areas. Beautification means our total concern for the physical and human quality we pass to our children and the future. So, as Mr. Mickey alluded to, last year when I was vice chair and served on the Solid Waste Management Authority Board, there was a discussion to revive Keep Clayton Beautiful. So anyone who's lived in the county for the past 30 years, I'm sure you've heard that Clayton County has had a version of the Keep America Beautiful affiliate twice. That was a decision, unfortunately, by the Board of Commissioners, but through the Solid Waste Management Authority Board, which is an autonomous board, they were able, or rather myself, and if I can shout out Nancy Howard, who runs Keep Riverdale Beautiful, we were able to bring back Keep Clayton Beautiful through the Solid Waste Management Authority. And so I got ahead of myself because I wanted to talk about the Keep America Beautiful program and what they do around the country and their efforts to bring the community together, whether it's having community litter pickup days, whether they go out and they plant trees in areas, and we actually already see that happening in Clayton County, because we have, here we go, Keep Riverdale Beautiful, and I think there's a Keep Jonesboro and Keep College Park Beautiful. But these are some of the events that the city of Riverdale has done. Whether it's tire amnesty, whether it's their community garden where they their community garden, or the grants that they receive. And wanna shout out Nancy again for a phenomenal job fundraising and getting grants for the city of Riverdale to be able to do those beautification efforts. And because Clayton County is in the process of signing up to be an affiliate, that means that not only Clayton County as a county, but you as residents will be able to sign up for those beautification grants. And I want to shout out the city of Jonesboro, because when they put on a trash wars, I want to see a countywide trash wars. I'm just saying, can we pit the districts against each other, and then we can see who can pick up the most trash? Mr. Mickey, I know that you keep Rex and 4042 pristine. But let's bring that same energy to the rest of the county, and we're already going to talk about the programs that our refuse control office does for their community cleanup days. And I'd already mentioned it, but yes, the Solid Waste Management Authority voted unanimously to revive Keep Clayton Beautiful, and it will be housed under the Solid Waste Authority Board. So in March, the Board of Commissioners did approve the $5,000 that needs to be moved from the Solid Waste Management Enterprise Board. It requires Board of Commissioner approval. I can't answer that question to why, but now that that funding has been approved, the next time that the Solid Waste Management Authority meets, they will be able to begin that application process for Clayton to be a full-blown Keep Georgia Beautiful affiliate. All right. So I had a multiple choice question that was going to say, you know, what should Clayton County prioritize for beautification? Because I want to hear from you all, and I want to make sure that I allow you all the space and time to reach out to the presenters that we have here and our guest speakers. But instead of doing the Mentimeter, I'm going to make Jordan work a little extra hard and just jot down the notes. So the multiple choice questions that are listed on the Mentimeter include litter collection, like community litter pickups. It also includes recycling. It includes landscaping. So I know where's interim work. I want to see us have wildflower gardens along places like Grant Road, so that we don't have to mow the lawn there as often. So I'm curious to hear what other folks want to see as far as, like, once we have a full-blown Keep Clayton Beautiful, what are some of the beautification efforts that you think that we should prioritize? And I saw Danielle's hand up first.
Could we please set some rules for developers who require them to keep trees and other native spaces instead of destroying rural space when they come in, please?
And
That sounds-
DeKalb County already has the language if you would like to reach out to their commission.
I borrowed DeKalb County's data center moratorium language. Yes, so we do have a tree ordinance. I cannot speak to the effectiveness of it now, but I know that, I will not name the city, but they have a housing development, and the developer tore down 90-year-old trees. They were beautiful, and I was so saddened to see them cut down.
It's happening all over the county.
Yeah, it is. Right here.
Yes, I would like to see the roads kept better. I live on Anglo Block, and, you know, I call, you know, code enforcement or refuse about a lot for different things, but, you know, I would like to see, for one thing they did do that I asked, and that was to stop kicking the grass out in the street.
Oh.
And do some edging and maintain the curbs. And they started doing that, so I see some improvement from that, and I want to just say thank you for that. And usually if there's trash or anything on the side that matches, somebody fall off through, you know,
Yeah.
I call and they take care of it, but and like some of the mediums, you know, they're doing a good job right there in front of, the Walmart area.
Okay.
And they should, you know, make sure throughout the county, they can maintain that kind of, service.
I already see Captain Gooden over there taking notes, and Ms. Fernandez, and then we'll come back here.
I ditto that because the curbs and the runoff, the water authority just increased our sewer bill about $5 a month. But it's due to runoffs that go into the sewer line. And so the grass clippings and all that. And I know it's harder to maintain the residential people that do it. I don't do it, but I do see, I've seen people, you know, put clippings in, and that's not where that goes. It goes in a compost or in a trash can. But I would really like to see maybe a day where we get together in different parts of Clayton County districts and really clean those curbs up because they're so heavy with debris. Like, and even in our neighborhood, I've gotten out on the road right here. Thank God I wasn't hit. Taking a shovel and getting all that stuff out of the curb so it's pristine, so it looks clean, and even within our own community. But those curbs and that debris gets in our waterways and it creates more work for the water authorities. I just think we need to do something about it.
Some education. So it sounds like we need to be prioritizing some education around that. So compost and, okay, we already got that. Yes, ma'am, and then I see you back there, sir.
Well, I was gonna say with beautification, I was thinking about, should be a lot of the business be more uniform looking. So I know they got a grant one time or something, they gave people beautify the buildings, and some places look the real good, and some places still look a mess. They, you know, everything in our county, is just, you know, you go to Fayette County, you go to other county, they look a little, you know, better. I always look at that at the time.
Okay, so that was the Office of Economic Development, and I believe the Development Authority also had a, it was a facade grant, and so they awarded that to select businesses across the county, and it wasn't quite a matching grant, but those businesses that were awarded, they had to put, skin in the game. They had to put so much money in to do external renovations of their businesses. So that was through the economic development. That was through the Office of Economic Development, and I believe that was ARPA funding, right? That was American Rescue Plan funding that came out after the COVID-19 pandemic. But I believe the Development Authority of Clayton County is also giving away some grants, but I don't believe it's the facade grants. That means that they have to do beautification on the external part of their buildings. But we can.
Whoever does it, needs to be more uniform, more coming in, one like, I already have a lot of stuff that gets restaurants, and some want to come like, oh, it's so pretty, it's so clean out here. So, like I said, when you go to Fayette County, they all pretty uniform, and pretty little stuff.
So that also, yeah, so that also sounds like something to flag for community development, as far as like when the Board of Commissioners, when we're approving projects, what those renderings and elevations look like. I'd have to speak with a lawyer about how specific we could be, but that's definitely something that could be discussed in the zoning ordinance rewrite, which is taking place, and I have a slide with another QR code for those meetings, and then you can also give that input anytime. I have someone back here. Yes, sir.
So a couple of things that I've noticed, like you guys replaced entering the Clayton County sign. Maybe you put like some landscaping around it and kind of cut the grass. Because when you go to like other counties like Gwinnett or some of these other surrounding counties, they have really nice signs, they have landscaping, they have flowers, and all we have is like high weeds, and then you got this grassy sign.
Can I say something?
Captain Gooden, is that under refuse to do that, or is that?
Some of the gateways, he's talking about gateways, some of them do follow us, the ones that are on, Carroll Boulevard, we do maintain that one. The ones that are actually out on the state routes, we're actually trying to get in the next budget, see about the contractors maintaining those areas because they are out on the highway and we don't go out on the highways. But the ones that are within the county, we do maintain
Yeah,
those.
'cause I see that y'all replaced the sign, but like I said, the grass is kind of high and it just doesn't look good at all.
And when I do my presentation, I'll address that too, okay?
Okay, thank you. Right here, and then we're gonna move to the next slide.
No, I just wanted, that was one of the things that I pay attention to a lot, because when I'm working during the day, I'm in all these different counties. But now, I do agree with everything you said, and I pay a lot of attention, because, I maintain the front of my subdivision right down at the block, Clayton Crossing subdivision, if you see, I maintain that. And we don't have a homeowner association. But the thing is, if you're gonna put something out there to represent welcoming somebody into the county, it should be maintained, even if you don't have much landscaping around it. If nothing else, if the state doing the main part of it, somebody should be able to make sure that there's nothing else that's looked at from time to time, so it can look nice.
Feedback received. I think it was Ms. Pansy.
Yes. I like to see some education because the county is getting dirtier and dirtier. It looks like to me, sometimes people just open up their window and throw full trash bags outside the window.
You're absolutely right.
I'm hoping that I was wrong. But no, I live up about in the Mount Zion area, and they have a lot of new subdivisions over there by Lowe's and and it's just
It's horrible.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But I feel like people need to be educated. One would think that you would know not to throw your trash out the window, but I've been walking up and down the street and have seen children walking with parents, and they just be throwing stuff on the floor, and I'll be like, "Miss, he dropped something," and she says it's okay.
Because she dropped it.
But I think we need to be educating people
Get
more.
those cameras, when they do that, we can see who they are.
Right, but I think we need to do some research on what kind of education that we can give the people who live in the county, not just in schools, but in these businesses. I mean, if you go over here by Home Depot, and you know where Home Depot is and where Chick-fil-A is, all of that little area back there is just filthy all the time. And I went into Home Depot one time and I asked the guy, who's supposed to be cleaning that? That's like around your store, that's around your business. Don't you want it to be clean over here? And he said, yeah, we get to it. But I feel like that's something that we need to, you got a store, you're inside, but you also have a responsibility for what's on the outside.
Interim Warden, Amy, I don't know if you wanted to, I know you all are doing a presentation later, but if we can make sure that that's addressed during your presentation, we'll make sure to bring that up around
So
commercial.
just, as y'all are addressing the issues, anything that falls in this department, I'm jotting it down, and when I do the presentation, I'll address all those issues. So just when I get up there, so that we can get through everybody else's, and then I can address their concerns.
All right, now we got hands. Okay, so Eliyahu and then Mr. Meeky.
I just wanted to ask what you all recognize as a green space, and also what are the regulations around wildflowers and all these types of things. I mean, there are a lot of things that can be done even just by residents, but I don't want to put out wildflowers and then they get cut by the corrections office, so I'm trying to figure out what are the boundaries, what can we do, or how can we help, and also what do you interpret as a green space?
So I'm gonna leave that to Captain. That's why I wanted to make sure that refuse control and code enforcement was here, so that they can address that. And then if there are any policies that we as the Board of Commissioners can initiate, so that we can have more native gardens, more pollinator gardens. But if there are laws that are currently impeding, individual residences or the county-owned right-of-way from being able to have those types of green space and that type of wildlife garden, then that's a policy change that the Board of Commissioners can make. So I don't have an answer to that question. I'm going to leave that to refuse to address. And if there is a change that needs to be made, that is something that falls under my purview, and I will absolutely see if we can change
There
that.
isn't anything in the code book right now for something in that category?
So The other reason that I wanted to make sure that we had refuse and code enforcement here, especially around the 10 inches of grass. And so I know that there was a situation a few years back with a residential home that was aspiring to have a version of a native garden, and they were receiving complaints. And I can't speak to the specifics of what happened with that home, but when we talk about, adding beauty back to the county, and I know we have Danielle from the Water Authority and Wetlands Preserve that's going to talk about conservation efforts. But if there are laws that we need to change to make sure that we're allowing people to have those types of green spaces in their residential or commercial properties, absolutely we can make those changes. Mr. Mickey, and then we have to move on to our next presentation.
Let me try to define a green space for you. It's any place that ain't got pavement and cement on it is a green space. And it behooves everybody's ownership to keep their space clean. And let me say this, I'm preaching to the choir here. All these people do it. But here, the people that you call our partners in our county, Home Depot, Shell Oil, service stations, businesses, also are responsible not for just the front, but for the back. And that's what people are complaining about. Because a lot of the back of the stores line up with 75 and 675. And you see the trash there. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Now, to go on a little bit further about education, I don't know if it's proper or not, but I'm going to try to use the best language I can. That the warden here, with the people that are incarcerated, do one heck of a job cleaning up, considering how big their job is. They come along in the morning, mowing the grass, picking it up, and by that evening, there's more trash there. Now, there's a problem there, and that problem is not with the warden, it's with enforcement. And we're all responsible for enforcing the law. If you got to walk the straight and narrow, everybody coming in to this county got to be walking the straight and narrow. And that's about keeping the trash picked up. And you need to notify our so-called partners, Home Depots, the Lowe's, which Ms. Pansy and that gentleman was alluding to, the banks, when you're riding down the road, those count. It's atrocious.
And that's what we're here to talk about. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to, this meeting is to hear from you.
Forget the flowers for now. Let's just spend the money.
Well, we're talking about both. So we're talking about both. We're talking about how do we maintain, how do we maintain, which is something that the county already is responsible for, but then how do we add to that?
And I'm going to tell you something else. A prisoner shouldn't have to pick up used condoms, baby diapers, dirty baby diapers.
I hear you, Mr. Dickey.
And dirty used soiled women's sanitary napkins. That's the best way I can put it.
I understand, Mr. Mickey, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about our collective responsibility, what we can do as individuals, but also what the county can do. And, initiatives that the county has, like Keep Clayton Beautiful, like the community trash collection, trash pickup days that Captain Goodman is going to talk about. I am now going to hand it over, because I want to make sure that you all hear from our incredible speakers who we brought here tonight. Danielle is joining us from the Clayton County Water Authority, the Newman's Wetlands Preserve, and it's going to talk about conservation efforts that we can do here in Clayton County.
So I have a feeling that when I get started, you guys are gonna have way more questions than I prepared for. But please bear with me. So first, I will just tell you a little bit about what Newman Wetland Center is. So we are a nature center on the south side of the county in Hampton, and we provide free environmental education for the community. Sherry is one of my favorite constituents. She comes to visit all the time. But we do everything from basic welcome, check out this place, here's the information, enjoy your walk, to teaching kids not to litter and showing them literally what happens when you litter with them. We have a whole model that does that. We also do water quality testing with kids. We take kids kayaking. We do and grown-ups. I'm saying kids, but we do it. Sherry's been with us. So we have a ton of programs that are centered on providing educational experiences, but they're fun and positive. So in Kent County, a lot of the children and grown-ups too that we meet have never explored the forest. They've never learned the value of planting native plants. They don't know how to grow their own food. So all of these things are things that a lot of people we meet, like they don't have these experiences. And so we're providing some of that to them with the hopes of making change and inspiring them not to litter, inspiring them to want to have actual flowers in their garden. And it's a little complicated based on what you can already see from these conversations, but please forgive me, pollen is definitely winning right now on my voice. So I will tell you before I start this slideshow a little bit about what the Water Authority does to make sure that we have clean water, because we talked about that being a part of beautification, right? Having clean air, clean water. So do you all know what a wetland is? Oh, what is a wetland? Does everyone know what a wetland is? Yeah, what is it?
I would assume, not to say that I know, but I would assume that it is land that is encompassed by water, where nature still is exposed to creating life within that environment.
Okay, so she nailed it. It's wet land, right? It doesn't always have to be wet. Sometimes it's a flood zone. Think about when the Flint River is high, right? Some of the areas, Upper Riverdale Road is an example. But a wetland is an area of land that is wet, at least for some of the growing season, and that allows for other things to happen. Well, Clayton County has natural wetlands, and we have a whole lot of human-made wetlands too that are part of mitigation projects. And actually, we use constructed treatment wetlands, so human-made wetlands, to process our treated wastewater, and we actually recycle 90% of our water in Clayton County using wetlands. People come from all over the world to see our treatment wetlands. I gave a tour all over the world. I see your face. I gave a tour to the Zambian government's consult last fall. I took contractors that work for the Mexican government to see our constructed treatment wetlands. They heard about them and came and asked if I could show them, right? So it's a really cool thing. I didn't put that in the presentation because it's a long story, but anyway, I want you to know that the Water Authority is doing really, really cool, sustainable things to make sure that we have clean water in the county. If you would like, I give tours of these treatment wetlands, so we can schedule one. Ms. Commissioner, oh, she's out there. We can schedule one. We can even have a meeting at the Wetland Center. So, with that in mind, yes?
Do you ever go into the school systems to teach the litter portion to children for science? Because I know that people said the adults, really, if you think about it, the children are very interested in, keeping their world clean, and they're like sponges most of the time. And then they can take that information back to their families. If somebody littering, they're going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that, you're not going to want this, blah, 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 blah. Everything that you're going to teach them, they're going to repeat back to their families. and to their friends, they're doing the wrong thing.
So the Water Authority, we have, I don't know if you guys know this, we have an ambassador program where we send employees out into schools and to career days and to public, just events in the county. My teammate does all of our outreach, so she does go to schools, and then we have field trips come to us. When we are teaching about litter, I always ask how many people litter in the room. I'm like, no judgment, raise your hand if you've littered. Generally, half the room raises their hand. Half the room. By the end, I say, are any of you still gonna litter? And occasionally one kid will still raise their hand, so hopefully it's making a difference. But this is a subject that, hopefully other people, like teachers should be teaching this, right? But I've had teachers raise their hand when I ask if you've ever littered, right? So it's definitely, in this region, it's definitely something that just has become a norm. And it's hard when you are driving down the street and you see a bunch of litter, it's hard not to, like, well, if everyone else does it, I can do it, right? It's really hard to catch people doing that. You gotta be there at the right place, right time. But, okay, so what I really want to talk to you all about is flowers. And I know we don't necessarily want to talk about that. But, all right, so have any of you ever been to the Wetland Center? I know Miss Sherry has, but anyone else? Okay, somebody in the back. Do you notice that we have a really messy native plant garden that would probably make people in here mad? Yeah, we're actually about to redo it, so it's about to be really nice. But the thing that is special about our garden is that it's all native plants. So let's talk a little bit about this first. In the United States, we only have 12% of our wildlands protected. 12%. That's it. 40% of animals and 34% of plant species are threatened. Not threatened literally by law, but threatened with at risk of declining, becoming extirpated or extinct. Okay? So one of the biggest things is that we've gotten rid of forests, we've gotten rid of grasslands, we've gotten rid of wetlands, and we've turned it into lawns. Turned it into grass, right? We turned it into buildings. We turned it into sidewalks and concrete and whatever else. The spaces that we have left that could still be growing wild plants, still providing habitat, are lawns, right? They're getting treated with fertilizers and pesticides, herbicides, and all of that gets washed into the water, and it continues to impact conservation efforts. Okay? So thinking about that, here are some things we can always do to help. We can buy local, right? Shop at Atlanta Harvest, right? I don't know if you remember me, by the way. I didn't know you guys were still in the county. I thought you were far away. Anyway, skip using chemicals on your lawn because it doesn't just stay in your lawn. It goes elsewhere. It doesn't just kill the targeted species, it kills other species. Okay? Reducing plastic, voting, we know you guys care about that. That's why you all are at a town meeting, right? Town hall. Yeah. Now, the really important thing is, these last two things are what I'm going to talk to you about. When we shop at Home Depot to buy our plants, when we shop at Walmart to buy our plants, we are not buying plants that evolved in Georgia, which means we're not buying plants that actually help wild species. So when we choose how to landscape, and we choose to plant privet instead of buckeye, instead of a wild buckeye, we are choosing to have a yard, an ecosystem of our yard that's not as healthy or as diverse as it could be. So you can choose to plant native plants and still have really pretty landscaping. The Wetland Center, if you give me about 6 months, will be an example of that. We're completely redoing our garden. It'll be all native plants, but it will be done in a beautiful way, and it'll have features where kids can play and learn in the garden too. All right, so I just want to show you some examples. First, the resources. Forgot that this is now, not at the end. There are nurseries in Middle Georgia and North Georgia where you can buy native plants instead of supporting Home Depot, instead of supporting Walmart, because they aren't selling you things that will be happy here. They're not selling you things that evolved here in conjunction with the wildlife. So if you want to do that, to make your yard a beautiful ecosystem, you can choose to shop at places that have native plants. There's another resource. There's resources for how to do that. With the Georgia DNR, they offer that. Department of Natural Resources. Birch Georgia also is a nonprofit in Atlanta that helps families turn their yards into little havens for wildlife. Now, so this is just reiterating. If you choose plants that evolve locally, you are choosing to help wildlife. Do you guys know about milkweed and monarch butterflies? Okay, so monarch butterflies evolved to lay their eggs on milkweed, only milkweed. Their caterpillars only eat milkweed. And then, when they overwinter, they migrate to Texas and Florida and other lower states, lay their eggs. Those caterpillars eat the milkweed. They grow up, they migrate. And they keep going north. And then they turn around and come back. It's a multi-generational migration. If we are only planting, impatiens and pansies and mums in our yard, right? We're not feeding the monarch butterflies. The monarch butterflies actually became endangered. And there's this effort to save them. Well, that's just one example. There's so many plants we buy at the store that do not provide any resources to wildlife. Nothing eats them because it didn't evolve here. And the species, the wildlife that lives here evolved to eat plants that grew here naturally. So keep that in mind. Here are some, I decided to give you some pretty examples. This is blooming right now at the Wetland Center if you want to see it, or if you want to come get seeds from me, you can. This is Eastern Red Columbine. That's pretty. It is. It's lovely. This is cardinal flower. This one's easy. It likes to stir ground. It's really easy to get to grow. You just gotta rake the leaves a little bit and keep the other plants from growing up around it. This is my favorite. Coral honeysuckle. You can replace the silver and gold honeysuckle. I know, it's Atlanta. Everyone loves honeysuckle. It's a nostalgic smell, right? We all grew up with that. But coral honeysuckle is native and actually blooms at the same time the hummingbirds are coming back. Black-eyed Susans, as you can see, wildlife uses that, right? He's been eating bugs. Stokes aster is another one. So these are just some really pretty examples. So an ideal garden that provides habitat for wildlife, it can be as small as a quarter acre. It can be smaller than that. It can be bigger than that. But an ideal garden has a water feature. It has, ideally it's designed in a way that the water flows and prevents flooding in your yard, but also that way you don't have to keep watering your garden all year. It's resilient. And if it's a native species, it's used to Georgia weather, right? So it's much more likely to survive without major watering. It should be a mixture of grasses, wildflowers, shrubs, vines, and trees. And I promise you can do that in a way that still looks lovely from the street. And it should be organic. It should skip the pesticides and herbicides. All right. I'm on the wrong button. Any of you have questions about native plant gardens or about the Wetland Center? Yeah.
Can you just go back to the last slide so I can get the thing?
You're welcome. You have caterpillars? What?
Oh, yeah, all right, so can I borrow that? I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but you were talking about the monarch butterflies. And so this is I thought this was a monarch.
This is gonna turn into a moth. Yeah. He's still just as important.
So, the surprise that we had, we do have some kiddos who joined us, hey. So we are giving away butterfly kits to the first 20 families. I have, so I remember the book, The Hungry Hungry Caterpillar.
Yes.
And so this is a board book that actually shows kids how caterpillars transition from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And so we have a couple of kits in the back that I thought were monarchs, but Danielle is going to correct me. And then we also have multiple tables where individuals have seeds that they are distributing. Newman's Wetlands Reserve, Clayton County Library has seeds, but they actually have an entire grow kit
Oh, they are
in the
butterflies.
back. And,
Painted ladies.
okay, Painted Ladies. And who else has seeds? UGA Extension also has seeds. So when we talk about, bringing back wildlife, pollinators, so whether that's hummingbirds, whether that's bumblebees, making sure that you all leave with something that can grow some beauty in your own yard. And so this is a Painted Lady butterfly. And so we have some families who are gonna go home with a butterfly kit. So we've had them since Friday, so they should probably be ready to get into their cocoon in the next week. All right. Thank you all for our interrupted butterfly break. We're getting ready to. Does anyone else have any questions for Danielle? All right. Yes.
So, quick question. So you don't want us to shop at Home Depot or Lowe's? Is there a place close by we can shop and get plants?
Mr. Eliana, would you like to say?
Do you sell native plants now?
I don't sell native plants. I just mostly sell fruits and vegetables.
Okay, so, yes, in Lithonia, there is a cottage garden native. Could you go back to that slide for me? In Fayetteville, there is nearly native nursery.
No, I'm talking about nearby as in nearby, not.
Kennedy's?
Yeah, there's Swins in Jonesboro.
Okay.
Swins doesn't sell native plants.
Sometimes they do because we got seeds from them and then we gave them to Commissioner Reaves. So.
We have native seeds that we are distributing today that were provided to us from
From
Swins.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Jonesboro.
Don't take me wrong, I love Swins. That's where I buy my dog food. They know me by name.
Yeah.
But they call me when they rescue dogs. They need to stop. But yeah. Yes, but maybe they do have native plants and I don't know about it, but generally the plants they have outside are food plants, which also is good, right? Like you can still, we can plant species that benefit wildlife and us, like pawpaws, for example. Have you had a pawpaw? They're delicious and they grow wild here. They're so good. Persimmons is another example. And I mean, if you're growing your own food in your lawn, I mean, I'm sure Eliyahu would like you to come buy from him. But if you're growing your own food in your lawn, that's good too. Like you're still helping fight social issues. We're not fighting environmental issues as much, but it's still better than just grass because grass doesn't really stop water and like stormwater issues. Grass isn't providing food for you or wildlife. So grow 100 tomatoes in your yard, I don't care. It's still better than growing grass, right? Yeah.
What about, I had mentioned this to Sonia Singleton when she was commissioner. We had a meeting at the extension office. I have this idea of integrated indigenous farms. In other words, communities, small communities like ours might choose, blueberries. I was thinking more like, so to take that from where we are growing, indigenous fruits in Georgia, and maybe go from there to maybe like a blueberry festival, and it would take time.
Yeah, they actually do that. There's a service berry festival every year. There's a pawpaw festival. There used to be a kudzu festival where they would clear kudzu and then use. No, I'm just saying in general, like in Metro Atlanta, those things do exist. So yeah, we could make that happen too.
The idea was to do that within the communities, and then the law enforcement, the the actual government lawns instead of, and plant blueberry bushes or blackberry bushes, different indigenous plants, pawpaw trees, things like that that we grow. Are you familiar with pawpaw?
Yes. We have a random pear tree at the wetland center, so they, in the past, come to get our pears, but the squirrels usually eat them to the pears.
All right, yeah, last question.
I was told there's a little sideway that goes along, it runs off of Mount Zion Road, it runs alongside all of those huge warehouses. There's a plant center or plant that's up there. What is it? What is it all about?
Yeah, so it sounds like you're talking about the Forever Young Aquaponics Farm, which is a project of the Andrew J. Young Foundation. They had their groundbreaking, two years ago, but I don't believe they had their ribbon cutting. I will shout out UJ Ag Extension. So Brianna Jenkins and I got a chance to tour the aquaponics farm December, November of last year, and it's incredible. It's its first of its kind on the East Coast, and we can get you some more information about that. But it sounds like you're talking about Mount Zion and Richardson Parkway.
On your website, this information you go get?
Well, we can make sure to provide some information, but it is a project of the Andrew J. Young Foundation.
So it's not open to the public to purchase plants or anything?
No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not open to the public, but we do have folks here who are going to provide some more information about thank you. I'm looking at Miss Pansy, hydroponics, to provide some more information.
Well, I was just gonna say, for the gentleman who asked about buying plants more locally, there are plant sales. So if you probably Sergio will have some information about that. But there are plant sales, and there are organizations like companies that like Cottage Gardens, for example. It's based in Lithonia, but they go all over doing plant sales. They're only open certain days of the week on the weekends, and then they do plant sales the other days. So we could probably get them to do a native plant sale.
Can you repeat the name?
It's Cottage Garden Natives in Lithonia.
Thank you.
All right, and I have one more slide, which is just shouting out the open house.
Oh yes, our open house is Saturday, May 2nd from 10 to 2. You can come. We provide food. We have various departments providing information about what we do, but you can also see how the water we drink is cleaned if you would like. It's free tours. It's great if you have kids or not. You can come too.
I've been twice.
Yeah. Anyway, it is a really cool thing. And then when you're done, you just stop by the Wetland Center because it's just down the street. So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I actually am running out on you because I have to go to dog training. But.
So I have three adopted dogs. One from Clayton County, and one a show dog. And he has a training.
Okay, that's fun. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, so I wanted to make sure, so we do get a lot of calls about the water authority, about folks have questions about their bills, or actually about how the water is processed and treated. And so the water authority has this open house. I want to say it's the first Saturday in May every year. So I encourage all of you all to attend. And so now I'm going to turn it over to some more of our presenters. We're going to have, we're going to have Ms. Pansy Walker, since folks were asking questions about aquaponics. I do want to acknowledge our folks in Zoom. I heard that you all have a few questions, and the majority of those will be answered by Captain Gooden when she and Interim Warden Amy come up to do their presentation. So we have received your questions and we'll be answering them. All right, so I am inviting a Rex Local, Ellenwood, or Morrow. You're right at the convergence of all three of those areas. Ms. Pansy Walker is going to come and do a brief presentation and talk a little bit about the work that she does and answer any of the hydroponics questions that folks were asking Ms. Pansy.
Thank you. There we go. My name is Pansy Walker, and I live in the county over in the Mount Zion area. And I'm glad to be here today. I hear a lot of people talking about plants and fruits and, my resident friend back there and I was sitting there talking, when she was talking about these different bugs, and I was like, ooh, I'm not really a bug person. And so, with that being said, that's going to take me directly into what I do. The name of my business is Reframing Organic and Wellness, and it is a network. And what we do is we encourage, we educate, and we expose people to hydroponic gardening. What is hydroponic gardening? It's when you are gardening inside of your house, and it's all water, there's no dirt. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that I don't like dirt and I don't like what comes out of dirt. I just want to plant all year round. I want to eat collard greens and lettuce and everything like that inside of my house when I feel like it, and I love it. It's organic, I'm using organic seeds, but that's not to say that I do visit my friend over there, Alaina Harvest. I go over there and I buy stuff from him, okay? Because it's all organic, it's all natural. Anything that we can do that keeps us outside of these grocery stores from eating that low quality, high cost food is always going to be an asset to us. I work inside of the community. I have done some work with our library people back there. I have gone to 4 of the libraries in our counties. And I do a a series. It's called Let Us Turn Up the Fun. And I go inside the libraries. We do a whole education spiel about traditional gardening, about hydroponic gardening. And as we're doing it, I'm educating the community, but also letting them see how gardening traditionally and gardening without soil, they can work hand in hand, okay? Once I'm done with the library, we open it up, we plant, we harvest. We have this thing called salad in a cup, and everybody is eating salad that we grew in the library. So if you have been to your libraries, you may have seen these little garden things. And I have it set up over here so that you can see it, but we grow in the home. Now, let me tell you some of the reasons why that's really great. Because you don't have to do anything. And the thing that we get rid of is that poor food quality. A lot of us live in areas where there's food deserts. You know, some grocery stores are kind of far. And if you can garden in your own house and go over there and pick your lettuce, pick your collard greens, pick your bok choy, you know, we can grow herbs on it. Everything that you need is right inside of your home. All right, and it does a lot for global warming. The water is recycled, and so you don't have to worry about the waste. And the light, it comes with its own light. The light comes on and off by itself. Anybody who says, oh, I don't have a green thumb. It don't matter what color your thumb is, because all you need is an outlet. You plug it in the wall, and it has a little indicator on top of it that tells you when you need water. The water is mineralized, because that's how you get the organic, and that's how you get the better taste of your food. A lot of reasons why our children don't like vegetables is because they don't taste good. They just don't taste good. But if you give your child some real live food that is done right, it's gonna taste good and they're gonna like it. So when we talk about some of the reasons why we want to grow inside, I think it kind of outweighs the reasons why we go on Kroger. Because one of the things that we have to start doing, ladies and gentlemen, is getting away from the little white pill. Those little white pills that they give you at the doctor's office, of course you have to take them if you have to take them. But we have to do something about our diet. We have to do something about what we're eating and what we're putting inside of our bodies. And so I implore you to think about what you're eating. Think about why you're eating it. Because food is the medicine that your body needs.
Amen.
Everything that God put in that garden originally was for us to sustain ourselves. He never intended for us to be eating chemicals. So I think we need to really just think about that. I am how do you say this? I'm a repurposed educator. I retired from Clayton County Public Schools. Yeah, I'm a teacher. I can't help it. I'm a teacher, and I just want to tell people about some of the things that we need to do. And again, the name of my business is Refarming Organic. We're in here talking about the trash and all these other things. We got to change people's mindset. You know, we all have neighbors, and we have to let them know that you got to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it so that you can have a better quality of life. It's not just about what we're eating, but what we see. The beautification of our neighborhoods. I heard Mr. Mickey over there said, let's stop talking about flowers and talk about getting this trash thing together. And it's true. However, with the hydroponic garden, I can start gardening in that. When it gets to be a little seedling, I can give it to you. And if you want to put it in your ground to beautify your neighborhood, you can do that. I'm partnering with the library this summer, and we're going to be doing some of the same types of things. Are there any questions?
When are you going to come over?
I'm sorry?
When are you going to come over?
When you going to invite me? You give me, listen, come over to my table. I have a QR code that says join my network. And I will also give you a business card, and I'm happy to come over. I'm happy to come over to the community center and unpack the garden so that you can actually see it, taste it. I've had salad I've had some people in my house in this very building that when we did salad in a cup. And so it really works, and it's wonderful. People have eaten it, and it's the real thing. How many of y'all grew up on a farm? All right, people who grew up on the farm, you can't fool them. Because when they start eating it, they be like, oh yeah, this is the real thing right here. This is the real thing. Even though they've seen it, I picked it up off of here. So I'm happy to talk to anybody over there. You can get my QR code, and we can go on. These are just the different types of hydroponic gardens. The one over there, that's the one that I have here, but they have the towers, and they have, this is a really nice one to have in your kitchen. I put that right on my kitchen counter, and I'm growing basil out of there, I'm growing thyme out of there, and I'm growing something else, scallions out of that. And so it's just a beautiful thing to have. It lightens up your house. You know, sometimes I'm growing, and I really just don't want to cut it because it looks so good. It may get, you know, just think about your house is all green and beautiful and vibrant, and you know, let me get this right. Plants take out carbon dioxide or something, and they give off oxygen. I taught math, just so you know. I taught math. But these are some of the benefits of having one of these little gardens in your home. If you're interested, please come and see me. I'm more than happy to come over and we can do this. Thank you so much for your question. I'm sorry.
The one in the front, I see some schools have those in there. I think I'm sub now, and we know those things going in water, but now I know what it is.
These,
the long tall one on the side.
This one?
No, that one.
This one?
No, go over.
Bottom left.
Bottom left.
This one?
Bottom left.
Oh, over there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the school system, Clayton County Public Schools does have the towers in their classroom.
Yeah.
Some schools have this,
Yeah.
which is from Tower Garden. They're trying to put them in every school in Clayton County.
That's it. I want this the new school.
Yeah, a lot of them have them. They're trying to put them in every school. When I was in the system, one of the things that, when I was doing my STEM certification, that was one of the reasons why I did it. Because we were talking about putting these inside of every school This was back in 2020. And so our children are learning this. They're seeing this. However, every family is not going to buy one of those. But every family can definitely get one of those small ones. Think about it. Where can you put this in your house? Where can you put this in your house? You can put it anywhere. On a bookshelf, on a countertop, any place that's a flat surface. And it's so easy to do. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna be looking for y'all over there. Come see me.
Thank you, Ms. Pansy. Like she said, her table will be right over there to the right. And our next presenter is going to be Mr. Sosa with UGA Extension.
And so this is a very long presentation. I'm going to go pretty quickly. But yes, so my name is Sergio Sosa. I am the Agriculture and Natural Resources Agent for Clayton County. I do work for the University of Georgia, but I serve the citizens of Clayton County. My program area, as I said, is agriculture, so we teach about gardening, composting. Actually, Elijah is going to host us for a workshop, a composting workshop. Is on Sunday, right?
Yeah, on Sunday.
On Sunday, so if you want to check out our webpage, you can register. I think it's $5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about how to compost. I also teach about gardening. I talk about, growing grass, because some people like to grow grass too. Landscaping, stuff like that. So, and I do have a pollinator seed. If anybody's interested in starting a small pollinator seed garden, there is a seed here. All right. So again, I'm going to talk about gardening because everybody's interested about gardening. The first thing you need to think when you're going to start gardening is that you need to make a plan and understand what kind of gardening are you going to have. You have traditional, in the bed, in the ground. Then you do need to do a soil test because you want to know what's in the soil. If it's a raised garden bed or a container, then you're probably going to buy the soil. So those are things you need to think about. What are the tools that you're going to need? And again, I've been growing plants forever, and I still keep plants all the time. So it's about, it's about having patience and loving gardening and loving being outside. That's what it is. So, but you do need to have a plant. You need to have gloves. If you're going to have irrigation, you need to have something to move stuff around, rakes, shovels, and again, love for gardening and a lot of patience because plants do whatever they want to do. Location, just like in real estate, garden needs to know if you're going to grow something like tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants, stuff like that, you need to have at least 6 hours of sunlight, and if you have an east-facing area, it's better. Morning sun is better than afternoon sun, because afternoon sun is more, it's hotter, so if you can grow stuff on the east side of your house, that's great. 6 to 8 hours for all the vegetables that give fruit, so tomatoes, cucumbers, stuff like that. Nearest to the house, because yes, I bet you start, right now the weather is really nice, but coming July, you're not going to be wanting to go, a mile away to go to your garden. So, nearest to the house is important. Make sure that you understand the soil, if it has a good drainage and stuff like that, and then also that you have a source of water. That's very important. If you don't have a source of water, you're not going to be carrying buckets of water in the summer. I can bet on that. The garden size, this is a recommendation. 800 square feet, it's a big garden. And if you have not gardening or you have mobility issues, that's a big thing to do. A plot 10 by 10 feet, it's still a bit too big. I have a garden club with kids, and we only do a 8 by 4 feet garden bed, and that's enough for kids to manage. So start small, you know, and if you can start hydroponic, that's great because it's smaller, and then you can learn about how plants work. And then think about the size of the plant at maturity. So, you know, planting radishes or lettuce compared to planting a tomato plant or a cucumber plant, it's a different thing. So, if you're going to start in containers, a tomato plant probably needs a 5-gallon container so you can have a good plant. So, make a plan, have a drawing of where if you're going to do something outside, make sure that you do a drawing because seedlings look alike when they're small. And if you planted something and you don't remember where it was, you're not going to know until the plant is big. And so it's really important that you have a map of where your garden is. Test your soil. The important part of testing your soil is the pH and the nutrients. The pH checks the acidity or alkalinity, and the nutrients are, you know, what the nutrients that plants need.
Do you still have a soil pH test for sale at the county extension office?
We don't. I mean, you can ask in the extension webpage, the UGA extension. They send you a kit that you can do it on your own. But we also take samples of soil.
Which are they now? Oh, you'll take the sample now?
We take the samples and we send it. It does cost $10 the sample.
Oh, for y'all to come out and take the sample?
We don't take the sample. You take the sample. You bring the soil to us, and we send it to the lab.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing will be selecting crops. I have a publication there. It tells you the vegetables that you can grow, the varieties, the maturity, so how long it takes, when to plant it in the spring, when to plant it in the fall, and then the amount of seed of plants that you need. Seeds or seedlings, it depends. If you wanted to grow tomatoes, then you needed to start in March, inside, and then you have your tomatoes now. If you want to grow squash or corn, then you can start putting the seeds right now outside because the weather is good now there's not going to be any frost anymore. So we're good. So, those are the things you need to think. If you're going to test your soil, I forgot my trial, but if you're going to test your soil for in-ground bed, make sure that the trial is usually 6 inches long. You dig it in, you take the soil out, the first 2 inches you discard because that's mostly organic matter. We just need the 4 inches that are underneath. And you put between 8 to 10 samples in a bucket, you mix that in, and then you put it in the soil bag. I have soil bags there if you want to take them. Again, I talked what you're going to get in your report is going to be the pH value, which is the hydrogen content in the soil. It measures acidity or alkalinity. Low pH means it's acidic, and high pH means it's alkaline. The scale of pH goes from 1 to 14. 7 is neutral, so the water that we drink is neutral, and plants like it a little bit acidic from 5.5 to 6.5. That's one thing you need to know. These are the major nutrients that the plants need: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. If you have ever picked up a bag of fertilizer and you see 3 numbers in there, it's these 3 numbers. It's the percentage of those nutrients in the bag. So percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen, it's what makes chlorophyll. That's what plants are green. Phosphorus helps capturing the sunlight and make it into carbohydrates, and potassium helps move that water inside with all the nutrients. So this is how the soil report is going to look. It's going to take your pH. It's going to tell you what nutrients you have, and it's going to give you recommendations. And if you don't understand some of the stuff, you can just call me and we can go over your soil test. These are some deficiencies that you can see. Like I said, if you don't have nitrogen in your soil, and nitrogen makes chlorophyll, and chlorophyll makes plants green. If you don't have nitrogen, then your plants are going to be yellow, especially the lower leaves. If you don't have phosphorus, the plants take a little bit of a reddish or purple color because you're not getting any nutrients. And if you don't have potassium, I said it moves water in the plant, and the plants look like they're starting to burn up from the tips to the inside. So those are just visual things that you know. This is what is in this. It's all the vegetables that you can plant here. The cultivars that have been tested in Georgia. Talking about seeds between seeds versus seedlings. Seeds are less expensive, but it takes longer time, so you need to be prepared for that. then you know, there's more variety when you're growing seeds, because there's different companies. When you're talking about plants, you know, you're more there's less selection, more expensive, but you know, you already have a plant. So if you want to grow tomatoes, you probably need to just buy a seedling, because you're not going to start right now with a tomato seed. Spring cleanup, make sure that you clean everything up. Any plant that you see that you leave there is gonna start competing with your plants for water, nutrients, and sunlight. So you take all those plants away, and then you mulch the area, or you till the area, make sure that soil is loose, and then you put the mulch in. Planting. You need to know what can you grow in the different seasons. So we're going into summer now. You can grow all these vegetables that are for warm weather. When the fall comes, you can start growing your greens. So broccoli, cabbage, collard, cauliflower. Those are the ones that like the cold weather. Again, this is just telling you what different things you can grow in the cold weather, in the warm weather. Succession planting is just it's a type of technique of growing. You know, the different crops, saying like a lettuce or a radish, once you harvest it, you're not going to get another radish from that plant. So if you plant it in succession, meaning you can plant radishes every week. You know, one row of radishes, and you will have radishes for several months. The same with lettuce. You can plant it every 2 weeks. Carrots, you can plant every 2 weeks, so you will have lettuce for the rest of the season. That's just what that means. Companion planting, it's about using plants that grow well together, or that you know, help each other. One of the big examples would be growing beans, corn, and squash. Beans are legumes, and they fix nitrogen into the soil. The corn takes that nitrogen. The squash grows under, you know, as a vine in the soil, and it has big leaves, so it will keep the weeds away. That's just part of it. Watering your garden, this is watering in the morning. If you have a timer, it's better, because then you can just leave it on. You know, let it put the timer in the morning, and that's it. And if it's gonna rain, you can just turn it off. Mulch is important. Keep the soil moist, and less weeds, and reduces pests, and keeps the fruit clean. So any kind of the vegetables that grow on the ground, for example, melons, watermelons, stuff like that, if you have mulch, it's better, because they're not going to get dirty. Keep records of what you do. Make sure that you know when you plant things, when you see any problems, and then, you know, because everything is a cycle, every year is going to happen the same thing. So if you keep track of everything that you do, then you're going to you become a better gardener. Again, the thing is about having fun, enjoying your time outside, enjoying time with the plants. Be flexible, try new things, grow different things, but, you know, just patience and love for the gardening. That's the main thing. I have a lot of stuff. You know, I have publications, I have seeds, I have soil bags, anything you need, let me know, and that's it.
Thanks, Sergio. All right. So I didn't get a chance to take photos of the slides, but I saw lots of folks taking photos, so I hope we learned a lot. I have the opposite of a green thumb, so I appreciate UGA Ag Extension for all the classes that they do, and I know they have more information over at the table. So we're going to hear from the Office of Resilience and Sustainability, and then Refuge Control is going to close us out to answer your questions. And I want to make sure that I leave time for folks to explore the tables. Oh, I'm so sorry, Alaina Harvest. Y'all ready to come up now? Alaina Harvest said that they're always ready. All right.
Right now, those are flower.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just talk until that comes up. I don't really need this.
Individuals who are on Zoom.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, how y'all doing? Great, okay, awesome. I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna be sweet and quick and try to get through this as easy as possible. I know you guys came here to talk about beautification, and so I want you to get your time to ask your questions and kind of just introduce this idea of what we have going on, why I think it's really beneficial to our community. Now, with the focus on beautification, let me just say we are a resource. My family and I, we are farmers. We've been farming since 2010. We grow copious amounts of organically grown fruits and vegetables. We also raise our own cattle. We do beef, lamb, goat, chicken eggs. We do the whole nine. And so we've got a lot of experience in this farming and gardening kind of realm. And so, whether it be, how do you beautify your front yard? How do you grow food so that you feed your family? If it's, where can I learn how to kind of manipulate this space that I have to turn it into a green space? Where can I get seeds from? Where can I get plants from? What are the resources? These are the reasons that we exist, right? Alaina Harvest and UGA Clayton County Extension Office. I'm always calling them. We're always talking back and forth because we have access to a lot of the same things, and we kind of, use each other to bounce ideas off of and how we can serve our community better. So we are a resource. I'll talk a little bit about our education program a little more often, a little later, but just think of us when you have questions about agriculture, when you have questions about how to turn your space, how to make your grass grow better. Think of us and give us a call. So, Alaina Harvest. Now, this is our location here in Ellenwood. We used to be in Jonesboro off of Walt Stevens Road. You can actually still see our sign over there. They didn't take it down, so it's free marketing. But we used to be there for a few years, and then we moved in 2020 to come to our location in Ellenwood, and we have been there since 2020. So here is what our farm tent looks like. We call it the chute. It's just an open air market. We put all the stuff that we grow here on the little cubbies, and we sell things in the fridge. We work with other farmers to bring locally produced, organically grown, and conventionally grown foods to the community. So it's a point of access to other farmers, right? Why is it important for us to eat local food? And Miss Pansy was talking about, going to the grocery store and seeing low quality, high cost food, right? And so you want to eat your food more locally because the more local it is, the more nutrient dense it is, especially if those farmers are doing what they're supposed to do with that land. The local food is better for you. And so we're connecting you with those farmers in Georgia. We're also connected with farmers in Florida and the Carolinas to bring a plethora of options to you. And also other things like value-added products and drinks and honey and jams and jellies and teas. And so we're doing a lot of things. Should I use this? Oh, is that great? Cool. Thank you for getting it up so quick. Just press the middle button. What's that? Was that me? Okay. So press the arrows?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so this is our mission. So this is what our family does. This is what we've always done. We started out in Dublin, Georgia with 40 acres. We used to just do everything there. All the plants, all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the cattle. We were blessed to be able to move up to Jonesboro in around 2018 when we bought Alaina Harvest from Georgia Tech Project. So it was a bunch of kids that just had this idea of how do we make good food more accessible? How do we fight food insecurity? So we took that and decided to really run with it in communities that have food deserts. And technically now, food desert is considered an area that does not have access to fresh fruits and vegetables within 1 mile. So you may even think, like, if you're from that area, well, on Hemel Block Road, you got like the Walmart over here, the Kroger over here, but technically that's a mile from us on both sides. And then think about the communities that are to the north and the south of us. Right, so we're trying to feed those communities. We're trying to close that loop of good food, nourishing food, and creating an environment where people can come out and have a good time, but also connect with the earth. There's not a lot of opportunities for that, right? So that education portion of like, how do we teach people, to stop littering, or how do we teach people to take care of the land, be stewards of the land? That's what we're here for. At the location, you'll see we are working on our first brick and mortar. So that's that. There we go. So that's that building right there. Me and my dad actually built that from scratch with our hands. So if you live in that general area of Amble Block Road, and in the past few years you got a tree cut down, it's more than likely been converted to be a part of the building. So I like flagged down all those companies and was like, drop off your logs, and you know, I cut them and we made it into the bones of the building. So I'm really proud to say that. Our future projects are obviously having this brick and mortar where we have more space for more products. And a well-rounded experience. It's not just a place where like, oh, I'm only coming here to buy watermelon when it's in season or collard greens when Thanksgiving comes around. We're growing food all year round. The farmers in Georgia are growing food all year round. And so we're working with those farmers and we're putting that food on the counter so that you have access to healthy food all year round. Right? And we're also doing more education throughout the year. We have at least one class or workshop a month. They're very low cost. Some of the workshops are even free. We just want you to come by and get the education and share in the space and the wealth with us. So increased production on the site. This picture right here is our urban garden here at the property. But like I said, we have 3 farms. So we're growing on 3 farms and we're bringing a lot of food up from down south. But this is a space where like you can come out and hang out and like see in actuality what kind of building a garden maybe in your backyard looks like, right? I'm trying to show you like what the potential of that could be. So if you don't know where to start with the garden, or you don't know where to start with building a green space or converting a space that you have that's kind of desolate into something that's beautiful, you can see how I do it here. And there are a lot of other ways to do it, but you know, we can have that kind of conversation. We also do volunteering. If anybody wants to come by and get their hands dirty, or if you've got some youngins that like, you know, don't really know what to do with their time, you can bring them by and I can show them what the potential of being an agriculturalist or a farmer or somebody who stewards the land is, and they can maybe consider that for their future, right? Because we need to kind of push the next generation into doing this. You know, the average age of a farmer in America is like 62 or 63, and so you know, young farmers are kind of falling off. So if I can do anything to inspire the youth, I'd love to have them to come by. We do a lot of other stuff with the youth, and I'll talk about that a little later. Agritourism is big for us, you know, just having more events and things like that. So think about us, you know, maybe you want to have a party, or you want to have an event, maybe you want to have a tea party, or you know, whatever the case may be. You know, think about us as a space where you can bring your people by, and it'd be something different than just doing it in the old school, like doing it inside. Like come outside and enjoy some nature. On-site plant nursery. Now we sell vegetable seedlings and fruit trees now. But, you know, I'm inspired by this conversation about native plants, and we'll be working on getting some native plants to have available for sale. Foodwell Alliance is a big supporter of ours and collaborator of ours. If you've never heard of Foodwell Alliance, they work with agriculture businesses and initiatives all throughout the metro county, the 5 counties in the metro Atlanta area. So they're all over the place, and I would definitely look out for them as well if you need some more information on how to convert spaces, or you want access to other places like ours that are doing this kind of work throughout Atlanta. There's not a lot of other places like, there aren't really any other places like ours in Clayton County or in the counties that are surrounding. So you can always just go there. These are a couple of the areas where we're fighting food security and fighting the nutrition deficit. Obviously, shopping at Atlanta Harvest and buying your vegetables from us. The garden classes and the workshops like I talked about. But we also have a CSA, which is a focus on locally produced foods. And we do have food deliveries if you live kind of close to the farm. And we have pickups throughout the city. And we're looking for more locations in Clayton County where we can have a pickup location. So like, if there's a restaurant you really like, or a community center that you really like, and you want something that's really close to you so you don't have to go far for us to bring you food, I'd love to hear about it. And we have a table over here you can talk our head off. We also work with Wholesome Wave Georgia, which is a global organization, but Wholesome Wave Georgia really focuses on working with recipients of SNAP and EBT, and they have a program called Georgia Fresh for Less, GF4L, and that provides 50% off for fruits and vegetables, and also for plants and fruit trees. So if you know anybody that is using EBT that could use some assistance and needs an initiative to get more healthy food in their fridge and on their counter, that's a great way to utilize their SNAP benefits and coming and shopping with us.
They're having some fundraisers coming up too, if you're interested in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And potluck chef dinner
Yeah, Southern Chef Potluck,
Like
yeah.
30 different chefs and bartending,
Yeah.
special connoisseurs with that liquor and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I'll be very transparent.
They said serendipity.
There's a lack of support and funding for initiatives like these that really help our community, and they need more presence, especially in our smaller communities. Like, has anybody here heard of Wholesome Wave, Georgia? Wholesome Wave, Georgia? Yeah, Wholesome Wave, Georgia.
First time seeing on this screen.
Yeah, does anybody know of any farmers markets or stores that you can go to and get 50% off on
They have
a
tons of
DBT?
them on there. They
Right.
partner with them.
And it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of people in Clayton County that are on SNAP benefits, and they need access to this kind of stuff.
They also do some, they give away, really, this time of year, seeds for gardening, dowels. Soil, compost.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working with Slow Food USA, and Slow Food has recognized us for all of these things here that are listed, for better sourcing, for environmental impact, cultural connection, community involvement, staff support, business values. Our main objective as a family is to be able to be of service to our community. So that covers a whole lot of areas. So like I said in the beginning, like really think of us when you need any assistance in this kind of agricultural realm. That's what we're here for. These are some of the other partnerships and collaborations that we've dealt with. Conservation Fund, we have conservation on all the farms that we own. We work with Atlanta Hawks, we work with the American Heart Association. As somebody mentioned earlier, Clayton County Public Schools, we have a high school internship we do every summer. So if you have a high school student that's in school right now or about to get off of school, they should consider us to work with. Clayton County pays them, so it's kind of like free labor for us, but we're pouring into these students on what it means to be a steward to the land. We also work heavily with Clayton County Extension. Clayton County Extension. Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Yeah. Yeah, so our address, that's funny, we're on the same wavelength, so I was just about to say that. 3529 Anvil Block Road, Illinois, Georgia. So we are, if you're taking I-675, we're exit 7. A couple of miles down from that exit, you'll find our farm, big red and white tent, you can't miss it. We're also right next to Stagecoach Road, if you know where Stagecoach Road is, and then right after that is Boulder Crest Road, and or if you know Fairview Road turns into Anvil Block Road. So we're on that route. And you can find us on Google Maps, we're on all that navigation sites, and we're open Sunday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And when the new building comes up, we'll probably be open 9 to 9. So we're on to yes, the city is Ellenwood.
The area, it's unincorporated, but yes, the area is Ellenwood.
Ellenwood side. We're incorporated. In our hearts.
Unincorporated is my responsibility as commissioner.
Oh, okay. You want this?
Everybody else like the flyer for the composting class?
All right, I hope everyone's getting a lot of information. And I'm sure you all heard a little bit of ruckus outside. There was actually a Cub Scout group that was meeting. They did a little relay race in the park across the street. And so, of course, I had to offer them some of those butterfly kits, and things got a little loud. The Office of Resiliency and Sustainability, we're going to have Kennedy Jones, who is the floodplain analyst, come and do a very brief presentation, and then we'll have everyone's questions from refuse control and code enforcement answered.
Awesome. So I also don't need a mic, but I will use it because I've been told to.
Yes, thank you.
So again, my name is Kennedy Jones. I'm the floodplain analyst for the Office of Resilience and Sustainability. We also house Clayton County Emergency Management. So you're like, why are you here? What are you doing here? Let me tell you why. So in my office, not only do we kind of deal with sustainability efforts when it comes to large infrastructure projects, so I love that someone mentioned tree ordinances and making sure that certain projects, when trees are removed, that they are replaced with native species. So it's really funny, we're working on a pretty big project along the Flint River, up Riverdale Road, Garden Walk area. to deal with flooding in the county. And I see some familiar faces here in regards to flooding, and I know that is definitely a hot button topic in the county. However, with this particular project, we are working with a vendor who is truly trying to attack the flooding situation with nature-based solutions, and also enforce that tree ordinance that the county has and enforcing our flood ordinance. So we are using and promoting sustainable efforts in project management with large infrastructure projects that enforcement may not have existed in the past. So just so that's a quick meat and potatoes, high level kind of situation there. If you have any questions, I'm in the back a little bit now. I mean, our stuff is put up now because I know y'all want to talk to code enforcement, but always, refuse controls here, okay, great. Always open to questions, especially when it comes to flooding within the county and just general emergency management. If you think FEMA federal, GMA state, me local. So that is my job. So on the local level, I'm FEMA. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can email me. My director is also available, Fong Nguyen. We're always out in the community, always wanting to help. Just to plug a couple of things that we've done this April, because this Wednesday is Earth Day. So we've been celebrating all month. So just like Commissioner Reaves mentioned, we donated seeds to her. We also donated seeds to the library. Yay! That was our second annual seed donation for the seed library at the Battle Creek location. And we also bought a tree from a tree that was destroyed in Hurricane Helene 2 years ago. Helene was? A year ago? So it was a really beautiful oak tree, maple tree. Correct me, Alaina.
It was an oak tree and we replaced it with a
There, that's my intern, she keeps me straight. Oak tree that we replaced with the maple, it was destroyed during Hurricane Helene. So we actually purchased a tree from it was the near native tree nursery. We purchased that last year. So this year we're naming our tree. So that is something fun. Yeah, something fun. So celebrate Earth Month, Earth Day, all month this April. Office of Resilience and Sustainability. And I know y'all have way more important things to talk about, so I will pass over the mic.
All things are important. Just a reminder, when the county shut down this January and last January, the Office of Resiliency and Sustainability turns into our command headquarters for all emergency assistance, and they do phenomenal work. So very important work. I'm going to bring up Captain Gooden and Interim Warden Amy to come answer the questions that you all have had in the audience, as well as the questions that we have had from Zoom. If you want to come over on this side and pass it over. You have the answers to the questions, so.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Captain Angela Gooden, and I'm here to represent Clayton County Prison Department. I have my interim warden over here, Amy, also. And Clayton County Prison is unique in that we're like the only prison in the state of Georgia where we have two civilian departments that team up with inmate services. And between the three divisions, we work together to keep the county clean. We also use community service workers. And what this does is it helps cut the cost to the taxpayers and keeping the county clean. And it also have the inmates and the community service, help the county out, work off their debt to society. For the inmates, it also helps them to reincorporate back into society. A lot of our inmates at the prison, they're low-level offenses. Some of them have been locked up for a few years. So when they come to us, they come out here and it's pretty much like a job for them. So they're getting reincorporated and getting ready to go back out there into the civilian world, as opposed to living straight from prison, not doing anything. And they actually enjoy coming out here because it helps their time go by. We have over 700 unincorporated roads in Clayton County that we're responsible for. Anything dealing with cleaning, from picking up trash, cutting the grass. We also do indigent burials. We pick up dead animals from the roads. We also have a service where we, if you're cleaning out your garage or doing some yard work, You can call up to Refuge Control, we'll send an inspector out, and for a small fee, which starts at $20 and it goes up in $20 increments, and you can actually get a lot for the $20. Well, we'll come and we'll dispose of these items for you. So that's pretty much everything that we do. We also do the model bus stop routes also.
The trash collection.
Trash collection, yes ma'am. So as you can see, if it can be clean, you can call my department. Now code enforcement, they deal with the private sector. So they deal with the homeowners, businesses, the abatements. Do everybody know what abatements are here, or force cleans? So for those of you who don't know, these are private properties that are owned by homeowners, and they're failing to maintain these. They look like they're abandoned properties, but they're actually still owned. So what happens is that if you call it a complaint or code enforcement notices this, they'll give them what they call an NOV, which is the notice of violation. They have 3 days to respond. If they don't respond in 3 days, then they send out a certified letter saying that, you know, hey, these are deficiencies with your property that you need to bring up to code. If they fail to do that, it normally takes about 30 days for the process to go through. Once that process is completed, that paperwork comes to Refuge Control, and that's when we'll come out, we'll cut the grass, we'll pick up any debris. If the houses need to be boarded up, we will board houses up. If there's a swimming pool, we will cover the swimming pool. If this house has graffiti on it, we'll cover the graffiti on it. So we'll bring it up to code. Now, of course, this is not free. But what ends up happening is that once I'm completed and I list everything that I've done to this property, I send it back to code enforcement. They go through their process, and then at the end of the tax season, when this property owner goes to pay their taxes, the cost to clean up their property will be added onto their taxes. So they are being punished, and sometimes it takes a while, but that's just the process. So I'm gonna address some of the questions that I had as I was listening to you. Once I finish, if you have anything extra, you can ask me. So I know it was referring to Anvil Block. Now I discussed 3 divisions, but I consider the residents my 4th unofficial division. And why I say that, right now just for District 1, I have 20 dump sites that I have on a rotating basis. I try to hit it at least twice a month. If I can, I try to hit it every week. I have 20 roads, main roads that we also clean on a rotating basis in terms of picking up trash. The grass crew also cut these main roads, and they're also on the schedule. It normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the weather, for us to complete a cycle, and then we start it back over. Now, as Mr. Mickey was saying, we may come out there and clean it today, and someone will dirty it up. But that's not a problem. That's where y'all come in. You can either call me at Refuge Control. You can go on Click Clayton, and you can say, you know, hey, I had Anvil Block in 42, someone just dumped a bag of trash. We'll take that complaint, and I try to refer to close out all my complaints within 1 to 3 days. And we'll come back out and we'll reclean that area. As far as the sewer lines and the curbs, during the grass season, we don't really have the time to just concentrate on what we call bumping curbs, and we'll come out, clean the leaves out, the drains and the curbs. If it's one that is backed up, again, call me. We'll come out there, put it on the schedule, we'll clean those. Now, grass season typically goes from March to October. Once grass season is over, now I flip my grass crew, which I have 4 of those inmate crews. Now I flipped them to going out and bumping curbs, cleaning sewers. These areas are identified. If we have line of sight issues, we also take care of those. We can't see everything, so it is real important for the community to buy into what I'm selling. Give me a call. You can never call me too much. I will come out there. I'll come out there if you need me to come and actually show me. So we have to, in order to keep the county clean, we have to work together as a team. As far as the gateways, that's something that I am working on with trying to see if we can get contractors to actually go out on the highways. The ones that are within the county, the one on Terra Boulevard, we are able to maintain it, so we will go out there and cut it. The ones that are on the actual highway, GDOT is actually, when they clean the road, they take care of it. One thing about GDOT, if you see something on the actual highways, no, I'm not GDOT, but again, give me a call. I also have, and I meant to bring that, but if you call me, I can also put that out there to everyone. But GDOT actually has a website, and they have a phone number where you can actually call and report the issues that are on GDOT. Home Depot, or these parking lots, that falls under code enforcement. If you see it, call us. Code enforcement will go out there and they will get with the business manager, whoever is responsible, and tell them, okay, you have 3 days to clean it up. If not, we're going to keep elevating it. And if you don't clean it up, you'll end up getting a citation. So most businesses in my dealings, when I've had the residents call me and I contact code, or you contact code directly, the business will go out there and clean it up because they don't want that citation. So if you see these areas again, and you don't have to leave your name, you can just call and say, I want to report this, and we'll go out there and check it. Green spaces, that's a new one for me. That's something that I will look into. But just sitting over here thinking, with green spaces, those areas are going to have to be designated. Because on like the county right-of-ways, we want to be careful with placing things on the county right-of-ways, because you're not supposed to drive, but some people forget that the county right-of-way is not where you drive at, and you don't want to create an unsafe hazard on the sides of the roads. But I would like to talk to, how do you say your name again?
Eliyahu.
Mr. Eliyahu. I would like to talk to you afterwards, so I can get some information, and that's something that I can, I'm gonna start looking into in terms of designating areas for like green spaces, so that, you know, that's something else in terms of beautification. And this is what Ms. Jordan had told me from some of the viewers out there on Zoom. And again, as far as the exit ramps, those fall under GDOT. It's not safe really for you to be down on those ramps. They have the cones, the equipment, and the personnel to actually clean those ramps. And again, if you, I have some cards over here, and I have my phone number up on here and my email on the screen. If you contact me, a lot of, I tell the residents, even if it doesn't, if you're not sure where to call or who to call, if you call me, I'll take the time out to find the right connect, where I need to connect you to, or who I need the numbers I need to give you. So you can always call, and if it's something that I can't do, I'll find out for you, do the legwork, and then give you the numbers so that you can reach out to the correct department. Someone was asking about trash cans on fielding. That was something I would have to get with the commissioners about. It's really not a good idea. We've actually tried to place trash cans out in some areas and they've gotten stolen. So, yeah, they stole trash cans. So, but again, if it's a road and it needs to be cleaned, give me a call and we'll come and clean it up within like 1 to 3 days. And then you will receive fines if you do not clean up your property. I was discussing, this is another question from on the Zoom. Code enforcement will fine you. One thing that we do when we're out there and we're cleaning up the roads, if we come across the bag and we can find the address, we will refer that to code. We've taken pictures, referred it to code, and code enforcement has contacted that person. One story that I thought was funny, we had a father and a son, and the father was giving his son the trash, I guess to take to a dump site, and the son was throwing it on Grant Road. Well, we went through the trash, found the address, code enforcement called the father. The father made the son go back out there and clean the trash up because he was about to get fined. Well, the process ain't getting fined. So, you know, when we work together, we can't keep the county clean. And I can't stop people from throwing out trash, but I can go out there and clean it up every time. I don't have a problem. I live in the county. I love this county. I want to keep it clean. So you can never call me too much. You can never bother me. Call me and, you know, code enforcement also will do whatever we can to keep the county clean. So, did I address everybody's questions? Did you want to say anything? Yes, ma'am.
Well, this is not about refuse, but this is about train track maintenance. You know, there were one on Fourth Parkway going toward the, you know, Lake City. That tracks, the train tracks there, need maintenance because every time we go in a car, there's a puppy there.
So what I do when I get with you, I mean, after the finish, I get with you to find out the exact location. The train tracks does not fall under us. I believe the train tracks is a separate entity. But I can call and find out who I need to call to address that issue. Most of those questions like that, I'll contact T&D, and they will normally tell me which direction I need to go. But I'll get your name and number and find out the exact location and see what we need to do. Okay. Oh, and then education. That was one thing I forgot. That's something that I'm currently working on with code enforcement in terms of trying to, once every 2 to 3 months, we go to different districts and we just basically educate on everything that refuse control does, code enforcement, what we can and what we can't do, and this is from a legal standpoint. A lot of what code enforcement do is a legal process that they have to follow, and it's legal for why y'all can't make them do that. Well, it's not that we can't, it's just that they have time limits that legally we have to abide by. So, but I wonder, we're talking about doing these classes so that we can better educate the public. Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking about a cul-de-sac. I live on the corner, and I have this cul-de-sac behind my house. They drive in there. I had to call 911 today, and they pull around. Now, someone's property has all that they got on, but they stopped cleaning it when their parents died. They don't clean it no more, so it has grown up to woods. But they throwing everything out there that the kids don't need to see, don't need to be around, don't even need to know about it. So how can I get that cleaned up? Cause I can't.
I'm gonna have to get your address
Okay.
and the address because depending on who owns the property is gonna determine which direction I'm gonna go into. So, in the county, some places they have what they call land bank properties or the county actually owns. If it's like a land bank property or the county owns, you call me and I'll come out there and we'll clean the area up. If it's a private property, even though the parents may have died, someone still owns that property and they're still responsible for it. So that's where code enforcement comes into it. So, and that was the abatement process that I was explaining. So code enforcement contacts whoever owns it, and let's just say in 30 days they don't clean it up. 30 days, code enforcement give me that paperwork, we'll come out there, we'll clean it up, and then that cost will be put onto the homeowner's taxes at the end of the year. So it'll get cleaned up, it's just going to depend on how long it's going to take.
Because it's dangerous.
Right.
It's dangerous. We have kids in the
Yes,
neighborhood.
ma'am.
Well,
So afterwards, I'm also, don't leave, I'm gonna come to you also so that I can get the address so that we can get the ball rolling and get it cleaned up.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ward, did you want to say anything before we close?
Good evening. Just one thing about the property, and everything is exactly what she said, but if we get out there and that property poses a danger or whatever the case may be, we don't have to wait 30 days because it's a danger to a child or somebody else.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and clean that property. Okay? So
And that's why I don't want you to leave because a lot of times I'll get calls like this and I will personally come out there myself to do the property and make that determination. And so I do on-site inspections, so if it's something, issue that needs to be addressed, I will come out there myself to check it out.
I used to get out and try to move them, but now. I just had a birthday.
See, that's.
And, I turned 8.
8 years young.
I turned 80. I thank God for it, God did, and I don't want to lose it.
Well, that's okay. Give me a call. Well, wait for me. But just anyone in here, call me with your problems, and I will find the right person to help take care of you. I have 2 more things to start. District 1 is going to be having a monthly community cleanup. If you want to sign up for it today, you can get with Jordan, and it's going to be the last Saturday in every month. Also, one program that I did start when I came here, if you're in a subdivision or community and you want to do a community cleanup on your own, you give me a call. I'll come out there, we'll map out a route. We'll provide the trash bags, gloves, vests, and the date that you're going to clean up your community in your area. We'll establish a drop-off point. You'll put all the bags there, and then I'll send a dump truck to come out there and remove the trash that was picked up. So that's something I honestly put out at the meetings and everything. So if anyone's interested to sign up for the community District 1 cleanup on Saturday, get with Jordan, or if someone wants to do one some other time during the month, you can contact me at Refuge Control. And then we also have Trash Amnesty Day that's coming up this year.
May 8th and May 9th.
May 8th and May 9th. Do you have some? I have it right here.
Yes, ma'am. Can I also bring the tire?
They used to put that out with the water authority, they sent the water bill out.
Well,
Someone has that material.
So that's done by the water authority, the Clayton County Water Authority, they have separate, and it's not a trash amnesty, they have a trash collection day. That's separate.
Is anyone familiar with trash amnesty? Well, if not, it's a great opportunity for you to clean out your house and dispose of your debris for free. And we do it once a year for our 4 districts. For District 1 and 2, it's going to be on May 8th and May 9th, that's a Friday and Saturday. District 1 is going to be at the Sonia Gregory Center. District 2 will be at the Riverdale Northwest Library. And what you do is you'll bring your debris up here and we'll dispose of it. You can also go directly to the landfill on that Friday and Saturday. Fridays you start at 12 p.m. and finishes at 6 p.m. And on Saturday it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, and yes, sir.
Do we ever have to kind of like have an point in college where you just bring all your trash in your house, everything they can pick up, they just pick it up, things? Do we have to come
That's
to
the
the
May
house? Or if you bring the bring somewhere, I want you to come to me, everybody bring it out to the street, like, not these part of that,
So those are cities. So those are cities. You said East Point, College Park. So those are cities and incorporated cities. They typically have their own trash service. So they already have the infrastructure in place. They already have the city-owned garbage trucks. They already do some version of pickup. But for the county, for the unincorporated, each individual household or neighborhood selects their own vendor. So it would be very complicated to try to do something like that, which is why in unincorporated areas, we have the trash amnesty. There was one this past Saturday at Rex Park where people could bring their items. I think they filled 2 garbage, 2 dumpsters in the back, and then May 8th, which is a Friday, you can go to the Sonia Gregory Center from, what was that time again? It was like 9 to 12.
That's in Ellen, right?
In Ellenwood, yes ma'am.
It was on Friday.
You know how
And Saturday was from 9 to 1. And then on Friday is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.
And we'll make sure to have a flyer in the newsletter, so everybody who signed in, you should please leave your email address so we can make sure that we can give you the newsletter, and we send that out weekly. Mr. Mickey has a question.
Captain Gooden, would you please tell me if there are any materials that will not be accepted on Amnesty Day?
Yes. So as the commissioner was saying, we're actually going to send out a flyer, but we don't take batteries, tires.
Well, can I preview the tire? Okay. All right, so I don't have a slide for it, and we weren't able to finalize it the way I wanted to before today's event. But under Keep Riverdale Beautiful and Keep Georgia Beautiful, there's actually a program where the county, let's just say, there is an opportunity for Clayton County to be able to accept tires and do a version of a tire amnesty. Because a lot of what I hear from refuse control is that individuals and sometimes even businesses are dumping tires illegally. And so I'm working with Captain Gooden, and we're in discussions to talk about a version of a tire amnesty where Clayton County would be able to collect tires. It would most likely be a separate event, but hopefully that will cut down on folks just throwing tires behind businesses in dumpsters, but unfortunately it will not be available for that May 8th, May 9th trash amnesty, but we are working on something for there to be a tire, just a tire amnesty, so we can get folks to stop throwing them on the side of the road.
Is there a way that we can take that, we gather those tires and recycle them in kind of scab? University, they have a lab there that the whole entire building, I think, is done with recycled tires to keep static electricity. I don't know how much on it.
Yeah, so that's part,
Sites have data center, I don't know if they would need it or not, but.
so a part of I'll call it a tire amnesty program, it's not finalized yet, but yes, part of that process is, recycling the tires, but we still have to work out, all the details for that, but
Bring
yes.
revenue back into us, but also do something good for the world at the same time. It's a good thing.
But we have to put the infrastructure together, we have to be able to collect the tires, we have to be able to bring them to the tire recycling factory, the tire recycling. Oh, no, we're already working on it. That's part of the program, is that we're gonna do tire recycling, and that is what will allow us to have tire amnesty. Ms. Hernandez, we're already on it. I said, keep Clayton beautiful, yes. All right, Captain.
I have brochures over there on the table, and this is like a list of items that we do in our pickup, but it also pertains to trash amnesty also. So tree trunks, batteries, shingles, bricks, concrete, oil, heavy metal, hazardous materials. So those type of things we don't accept. But if it's just like regular like household stuff, refrigerators, microwaves, mattresses, TVs. So, like I said, if you want to list, I have brochures over here, but it was just like regular household trash, furniture, appliances, clothes, yard debris, things of that nature. Trash amnesty is where you can bring. If you're not going to go to trash amnesty and you just want to clean out your garage or your house, then as I said, we'll come out and we start at $20 and go up in $20 increments. You get a lot for $20. So.
I think that answers your question about the pickup. As far as, if someone can come and pick up the items, but there is a cost associated, there's a fee associated with it. Incorporated, because I live in Morrow city limits, so they do that if you live in the city limits. But in the city limits, I think you have to call. Okay, let's chat. I want to hear about that. Bless you. Bless you. All right, y'all, we are incredibly over time. I want to thank you all so much. You all had so many questions. I hope we got all of your questions answered for the folks who are joining us on Zoom. I hope we were able to address your questions as well. There are tables, and I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to visit all the folks who come in, who've done presentations from UGA Extension, from Ms. Pansy Walker with the hydroponics, from the Office of Resiliency and Sustainability, our library services, which has a few Earth Day events going on at all of the branches all week, as well as our refuse control and code enforcement, and of course, my favorite Clayton County Farmers Market, Atlanta Harvest, off Campbell Block. So thank you all for joining us, and I will take any additional questions offline.